beings must be maintained.
Kept under lock and key, one of the first attempts to clone human tissue in the lab. Researchers at Edinburgh University have already grown nerve cells from the embryos of mice. They believe that the techniques developed with animal cells like these could be repeated using human embryos. They plan to grow brain, muscle and cartilage to replace tissue that's become diseased or worn out. This could, for example, be used to regenerate the brains of people with Parkinson's disease.
The potential benefits greatly outweigh the risks. I'm not sure why anybody would want to clone another human being, but I'm very clear as to why one would want to be able to develop cells, to use our own cells to cure disease in the next century.
The government's advisors on cloning have today given their approval for these kind of treatments to be developed.
We're doing a balanced exercise. No cloning of babies on the one hand, but we're recommending keeping the door open to medical research, which may be of great benefit to mankind one day.
The report has angered those opposed to the technology. They believe that research into medical applications will lead to full-blown human cloning.
Therapeutic cloning does offer some medical benefits, potentially for the future. But my own view is that it's one step too far in terms of the open door it offers for those who wish to produce cloned children.
The scientists that created Dolly the sheep have already set up a company to develop medical applications. They believe that today's recommendations will enable companies to take advantage of British expertise.
The UK and Scotland in particular have leading positions. It also potentially lays the basis for some very large business opportunities. At this stage, though, it's just great to have the go-ahead to do critical research.
Researchers can already grow animal tissue from these embryonic cells. In a few years' time, it could be human tissue. The technology promises enormous medical benefits, but inevitably the research brings the prospect of cloning a human being a step closer. Palad Ghosh, BBC News, at the Centre for Genome Research in Edinburgh.
5 men killed in a crash in Leicestershire last night were on a...
It was time for the astronauts to make an appearance. Their job, to connect cables between the Russian Zaya module and the American Unity module.
Okay, Jim, as soon as you're ready, you can grab the arm and we'll be ready to move you. Sure.
Jim Newman, making his second spacewalk, was on the robot arm. His colleague, Jerry Ross, floated free, tethered to the shuttle for safety. Apart from installing cables, they had to fix handrails onto the Unity module to help future astronauts who want to clamber about the space station. It's tricky. Tools without tethers tend to disappear.
Houston, I lost a wrist socket and it's retractable. I don't know how it came off.
Fixing the cables took 4 hours. As the orbiting spacecraft moved to the dark side of the Earth, the astronauts paused to admire the view.
That's a beautiful sunset.
In the dark, they used their headlamps to see what they were doing. Once the cables were connected, Mission Control in Russia threw the switch so that power flowed from Zaya to Unity. The space station now had a life of its own.
We have successfully activated the space station with no anomalies. The software worked perfect. That's really great news. Outstanding effort.
There are 2 more spacewalks on this mission, some 70 more before the space station is complete. James Wilkinson, BBC News.
It's been revealed that the world's greatest spin bowler